Good morning, at least according by Mudgy standards. As you may tell, I am home sick again today, so I had the time to do this. I received a comment from a Talmud yesterday on the video which I made yesterday. A Talmud I very much respect, and I wanted to respond to it at length. And this is a bit more of a sheer format, I think, than than yesterday's, because I'm going to be doing a lot of learning. Not a lot, it's not going to be on the video, but a significant amount of learning, and also a lot of some Hebrew with translation. So the beginning with the comment which my Talmud made was as follows. I watched your video yesterday about Mark Angel's article. I was wondering why not take a more elitist position. It seems beyond debate that Rabbi Soslanter's version of Musar was a complete failure as a mass movement. The fact that it was flipped on its head by people like Avigdor Miller only underlined its unsuitability for the general public. I agree completely that in theory there is nothing in believing in the more holy nature of the Jewish soul that leads to immoral behavior, but in practice it does. People are not that smart. Given how much the trouble the average person has understanding a morally neutral topic, how can you expect them to hold and internalize such a complex, morally fraught idea in their head and come out on the right side of things? It's a very important and fundamental challenge. So I'd like to address this in more depth, but first from one approach, and then we'll go to the more depth approach. Many years ago, in 1985, I was learning in the Mir Yeshiva in New York, in Brooklyn, and as a lark, I applied for the job that I saw advertised to be the rabbi of the Orthodox Minyan at the Harvard Hillel. I did have smicha already, but I had no intention really of taking the job. I'm not even sure what exactly I found funny about it, but I did, and I received a call from them, a return call. And this return call I received on the payphone in the Mir Yeshiva lobby. Back then, that's how we got calls in Yeshiva, on payphones. And they were discussing with me, the search committee was discussing with me how about taking the job and what the parameters were. So I didn't want the job, but I guess I was flattered that they called me back. But I said to them, you know, there recently came out a tshuva by Rabbi Herschel Schechter in which he said that women's minyanim are not permissible, women's prayer groups. And he explained, this is Rabbi Schechter, this is a ziyuf haTorah. This is a falsification of the Torah to say that women's prayer groups are permitted. And therefore, since you have a women's prayer group, I am sorry, I really can't take the job. And the typical Harvard fashion, I would assume, the response was, yes, we know about the tshuva, we were not consulted about it ahead of time. Okay, but it was worth a conversation. The idea of ziyuf haTorah is one superficial, simplistic answer to my Talmud's question, which is that we can't, even if it's not working, we can't falsify what we believe. It's true that that is really much more matters of halacha as opposed to the matters of hashkafa, which we're discussing now. But still, even matters of hashkafa, one should try, it would seem, not to be mezayef, not to falsify one's position. Now, I know we can covering up, perhaps not the same thing as falsify, but in general, I think one has to be genuine as much as one can. But that's not the primary answer. That's a secondary answer given first in sequence. In order to give the primary answer, I want to go with you Michtav Eliyahu. Michtav Eliyahu is in Chelek Hey, Chelek Hey, page 37 through 39. It's a bit long, but I'll try and go through it quickly but clearly. He's talking about here the difference between Hasidim and Misnagdim, specifically Hasidus and Musar. Not generic Hasidus, but not generic Misnagdus, but specifically Musar. I've written about this elsewhere in my Forks in the Road essay, but I even quoted this from Dessler, but not at length, only a brief excerpt. And this too is not the entire article, but something which is important for us to see. He says, there is a well-known distinction between chinuch, in education, and in conduct in a different direction than what he said previously, between Musar and Chasidus. Davar Baruch, it's clear, Shabli Spilus, without arousal, even agitation, regesh, emotion, Islavus, and a bren, a flame, a fire. It's not possible to have a spiritual elevation. Mishukar ben Yonei Torah, someone is cold in Torah matters, with mitzvos and mitzvos as well. It's possible that we'll see that him as if he's standing in one place. And this is something which I've addressed from time to time, that it seems that that would take place in yeshivas, that either person is going up or going down. A person never remains the same. It seems that that's a myth, because one can see 40 or 50 years a person remains on the same level, at least to outward appearances. So he says, no, that's not true. He's all inside, that person is always flowing. His coldness grows and continues to grow. Therefore, therefore both people who are Hasidim and generic people, they use this arousal and flame and I guess one would call it the anti-Y approach in certain circles. The generic people use the arousal of musar and of varmkeit, of warmth, of limud Torah of learning, etc. But the difference is like this: these, on the one hand, use that arousal only as a tool to awaken and uplift their learning. But there must be a cold-hearted reckoning, true reckoning, in depth, and with internal equanimity. Musar, also in Musar, that is just about regular generic people. Internal reckoning, levarer kama razeh li'atzmo, to clarify to himself how bad it would be to go in the bad way. This is something which has to penetrate the depths of the heart and truth. For this we need menuchas nefesh. We need to have equanimity, a certain tranquility in the heart. Because the arousal alone, is only superficial. With man more than and in a short time, it goes away. Therefore, the Bali Musar speaks so much on the need not to deceive oneself. I also wrote about that elsewhere. I named Avrohom Kaplan in my the same essay, the Forks essay. And to seek in the subconscious and the midos which are hiding there, the traits which are hiding there, which are not available or not revealed to a superficial critique. Because you can't do any of this in a state of emotional arousal. Yeah, whatever little cheshbon you make, it has to be true. In the depth, the truth in the depths of the heart. His father told him, should be uruhu, the means Shakadosh Baruch Hu send me adam. Actually, I'm sorry, I skipped one. Because the person says, indeed, truth, you look in the depths, in the innards. This my father-in-law said. Shabiru means Shakash Baruch Hu wrote to me all the person who Hashem wants a person shirachim emet l'toch halei is go with the truth in his heart. Echad shehu maruach betiach aveh, in a place where he is smeared with the deepest, the thickest, the plaster. If there's a different, better word than that. The thickest layer of negios, of intrinsic interest, and midos, and the traits. Shom lo yimar ramer adam es atzmo, shemashu utzel emes. That a person will not, evidently, halavai, does not trick himself and say that what I want is the truth, but rather he seeks the truth itself. This is the Baal Musar's statement. A person should never deceive himself to think that he reached Ahavas Hashem. Halavai that he should have reached the lowest level, the level of Yiras HaOnesh, or fear of punishment. It's a pachad me'onesh. If the fear of punishment, and the ambition for reward, which is the lowest form of Hashem, you are meeting butter would be true within us. That's a lot according to our low level. Therefore, a person should not take into account the emotional arousal and bren, which are not truly the person himself on his real level. And even if at the time that he is aroused, it seems to him that he is tied by ties of love to Hashem. This is only a imagination of his state of mind at that time. That's why the generic people, not the Hasidim, say, even though we are small people, we have to look for truth on our level. But truth is we've never reached the clinging to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and love, which is for real. We have to use the power of critique. Not to allow our hispilus or arousal to drive us up to the heavens. Now comes the very important paragraph. By the way, this is the antithesis. Anybody's going to call us a Talmidim. This is the antithesis of the PSS Shita. The exact opposite, diametrically opposite. This is the Torah of individuals. Yichidei Skula, unique individuals. Reach true intellect. Lelimud Torah Amok, the penetratingly deep learning Torah. Or reach self-control. Ubikoras Atmith, an independent critique. Who work upon themselves, the Musar, with true Musar, and accustom themselves to the way of truth. Harachov, the street, Holama Pashut, the general path, the masses, Ein Lahem Davar Mizeh. This doesn't mean anything to them. What they have is perhaps the attitude of Kaplan Torah, a respect of Torah. Haratzol Adam Gadol, the admiration of a great person, call as much as they scream, as long as that lasts, which is not always that long. Therefore, people like this emigrated to America, Drum Africa, South Africa, Australia. They weren't able to withstand the temptations. From the truth in the heart, they're very distant. After all, they didn't bring with them that type of hispilus, that type of arousal and warmth. And the small things, kimashke, like drinking, rikud, dancing, a little bit of simcha, they're not enough to arouse them to maintain their Judaism. Chassidus went the opposite direction. And the truth in the hearts, we'll worry about later on. Reish's call, first of all, let us promote a lot of superficiality, a lot of the lavush, the external. Harbe Yislavus, not just in actual dress, in dress, but rather also in he's a lot of arousal, zekus, and clinging for ava. Adrab, on the contrary, shech shoas am shoav Hashem. This is like the other person should think, I do love Hashem. Zayazor Beil Maseh will help him a lot. You put up a bumper sticker. I love Hashem. The chol echol, the fimarchek also, and every person according to his level. Afiu hamashke, even the drinking, hariko, the dancing, Yisayu will help Yispilus to arouse him. Lavoyas Hashem ba'ava simcha, to serve Hashem with love and with joy. The simcha, so the simcha says chesed. Person will do his with the simcha chasadim, kindnesses. He's ready to give. With them is greater chasidus, and with this he comes close to chasidus, which is the chasedim ba'borei, to do chesed with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, so to speak. Ba'ava rabba with great love, zekus, and clinging. It's like small. So what happens if you're tricking yourself? You're also tricking the Eitzara when you do this. Because the Eitzara is tricked into thinking that you actually love God. The Eitzara thinks nothing else matters to you. He mocks this low world. He separates himself from people in this world. In his dress and also in his conduct. He negates and derides people who do not go in the way of God because he's different than them. Because that's all he's Chassidish. And that he loves Hashem. This internal perspective holds him strong, external and internal. It holds him strong in all circumstances. This results in him a great courage, which curbs any possible fall. This, says Rav Dessler, is a very precious idea, suggestion for the masses. But Chassidus Omeres, and Chassidus says, even a great person, okay, gets greater and greater by that Islavus. In the time whereas a cold critique, self-assessment, that silences the power of being uplifted. A person is compelled by Hashem to live and work with the body, together with the tumah of this world. The way to eradicate, to burn out the tumah, he is only with the fire of the flame of holiness. But he also when a person is involved in higher levels, spirals and arousal, he can also learn as part of Chassidus very deep concepts of Kabbalah. And he will philosophize with them and beautify them. As a tool to fortify his flame and his clinging. That's how Chassidus use Kabbalah. They don't. If you learn the Tzodek and Sfasemet, the Kabbalah there is the tool to Dveikus. It's not in and of itself undervalued. And this is not arrogant haughtiness. Because by negating himself to Hashem and sacrificing himself, the gaiva will be negated. The holiness will go away. These are lines of Chassidus. So, the Dessler concludes this with the following paragraph, translated in an essay. This is my name in our day. The truth of the Bali Musar has already gone away. It's not. We're not. This is like my Talmud said. We're not really into this at this point. Nobody is really thinking about this. It's not popular. There already no people. There's no people with truth deep in their hearts. With true cheshbon nefesh, with true critique and reckoning. We've already come to the generation of the footfalls of Mashiach. Chazal says, which Chazal says is going to be a superficial generation. And in our day and age, if somebody already learns Musar, this can be a description of me. He is primarily interested in the wisdom of the Musar, the science of the Musar. The philosophy of Psychologia and the deep psychology, which are connected with Musar. If he learns Musar with arousal, then he doesn't follow through with the critique the moments after. But also by Hasidim. There is a lack of that avoidance vehicle. Well, years back, there is a nigun, or there is a melody, but the neshama of the nigun is missing. The arousal and davening, it's almost in the past. So for today, what do we do? It's only one way. To take everything which one can to help to assist one's Judaism. With the Chassidus and Musar together. Perhaps they will have an influence with explanations and great illuminations. Maybe they'll develop within us the admiration and cognizance of Torah. Perhaps word the case that some arousal and Musar will bring us to a little bit of the flame of Chassidus. And conversely, would it be that the Slavus in Chassidus will be fortified by a little bit reckoning. We should be able to use all this to uplift us as ruchnius, and to withstand and maintain ourselves as a strength in Judaism. Hashem should help us. Now, this why is this relevant? Because I believe that although Rav Dessler's point is well taken, and in personal conduct and even communal conduct, one has to do what's going to work for the masses as well as one doesn't sacrifice one's principles. But that's not my approach. My approach, and I don't think the approach of our group, and this is an important point to make, which is that I believe that I myself and most of the members of this group who are the core members understand that we will not necessarily have the impact on society which perhaps more efficient and more superficial means would provide, but rather we are maintaining the spark of authenticity and the truth, which is so nuanced and difficult for the masses to understand, to the best degree that we can. And then there's a kind of trickle-down effect, which we hope to achieve, which is that if we maintain the internal and perspective, which is the correct one, which is very subtle and perhaps difficult for people to understand in its totality, it will have an impact on Judaism in general, an impact on the world in general. That our keeping the flame is something which is important for us to do, even if that impact does not extend out to as many people as we could impact with the more suitable tools for the masses. And this is something which Rabbi Avrohom Kaplan, as most of you know, this is my hero, the Biklos hero. He writes in the beginning of his major piece, his magnum opus, the Biklos itself. He says, "Lo rabim yikrus dvarai." Not many people will read my words. Ach lo l'rabim ani tzarich, but I don't need the masses. Gam lo tzarabim tzrichim li, and the masses don't need me. Kum yesh lehem pnai lo sam harabim, l'shul dvarim shani omeid daber bam. Those masses have the time for the things I'm about to speak to them about. L'kol yoser, at most, yuchlu kametim shatam. They can allocate to me a little bit of time, a little bit before they go to sleep, the kriya chatufa for a quick read, baskami yisayma, and an orphan consent agreement, and then to shrug shoulders, the lamir klusha mitoch tzuromet, and to say weekly with complaints, with disappointment. Ma lamdena, what's he coming to tell us? Lama pieces var kurela. Why are they printing things like this? Kimcha talking is grinding flowers already ground. Kaina tzedek idam. Yes, the truth is with them. Lo lamed lo chadesh, not coming to teach, nor to say something new. But woe to a person who only wants that which is new. The shas shasha is shanos. When the old shein mostos chayav, which are the foundations of his life, hochos ubalos mizogen, go and are erode out of old age, being better with people without any maintenance and any improvement. Hochos for a post, they go and become weaker. Hochos for a post, they go and they fall. Liyichidim dvarai, my words are for the individuals. Od yesh chelu b'machaneh hayadus. There are still people like that in the Jewish camp, being written almost 100 years ago. Adayin livnei hashpaso sh'Rebbe Yisrael ba'olam. There are still people who were influenced by Rebbe Yisrael Salanter, the founding Muslim movement in this world. Mishahochu be'ikvos hayira, those who have followed the footfalls of Yiras Hashem, of fear of Hashem, or awe of Hashem, l'dat mi'ayin ba, to know from whence it comes. So this is something that is very, very important to me, and very important very important basis of what I spoke about yesterday, which is that I actually want to read his last sentences, where he comes back to this theme at the very end of this piece, which is the most amazing piece of Musa written in history. We know that the only resolution for the crisis of our nation, in material and spiritual, is the way of healthy tshuva, the Yiras Hayadus or Mamat, the lofty fear of the Yiras Hashem he describes in the piece. And do we have the permission to become embarrassed in front of the scoffers? And not to announce publicly, constantly getting up and announcing on this one possibility of redemption. And who guaranteed us and told us that the nation will not listen to us. It won't listen in its hundreds, maybe listen in its tens. Who has seduced us to deny the possibility of a mighty group from the nobility of the Jews and its youth, to be involved in truth and in fullness, in the purity of the heart and the deeds. Why not? It's possible. If it's not possible, this is only one reason. Because we, the individuals who quest this midah, deny that it can exist. The nation is not yet empty, not yet bereft. And if it is bereft, it's bereft on account of you, the individuals. Because of you and not from them. The nation is not yet widowed. It has not yet been banished from the Gan Eden of Judaism. But us individuals is the widowhood and the divorce. Banu in us, below Bo, and not in the nation. So Rav Dessler and Rav Avrohom Kaplan have very different approaches here. And it could be that after the war, Rav Avrohom Kaplan would have changed his approach and agreed with Rav Dessler. But he died in 1924 at the age of 34. So he did not have the opportunity to change his mind, which lucky for me. And he's saying that it's not the case that we should give in to whatever the masses will require or will accept or will be palatable to them in order to have that kind of influence. No, the Yechidim have to strive. The individuals have to strive to maintain the truth and to maintain that message and to broadcast it as much as they possibly can, and whatever influence they have. And this is something which I myself, with Talmidim, have decided some time ago that at first, I had a Rosh Yeshiva once who said, who somebody said about him, he wants to conquer the world, and somebody wants to conquer the world. Eventually, the world conquers them. It's interesting insight. And so, when I was younger, I wanted to conquer the world. Why not? But as I became older, I realized that the influence on individuals who then continue to have that approach, those ideals, that idealism, and that the devotion is the way to go, at least for myself. And therefore, whatever success comes, that's beyond Hashem. Hashem, the Reb Tzadok has a piece in which he says, people should not think that a sefer becomes popular because it's the best sefer. No, it could be the best sefer is something else, but Hashem has his reasons. So we're not in a popularity contest. And therefore, if we believe, and I believe, that the Kedushat Yisrael is not a contradiction, but on the contrary is the source of the benevolent, magnanimous, altruistic, and lofty dedication to the mankind, to womankind, to the creation, then I have to take that position, whether it's going to work or doesn't work. Again, if I was a Desslerian in this respect, so perhaps I would give up. Perhaps one should give up from that perspective, because it's too nuanced an approach. But since we are not Desslerians, at least I'm not Desslerian, I should say, so therefore, the flip side is, yes, the masses might misinterpret what we say, the masses might be better served by a different perspective, but we have to try and maintain the truth as we see the truth, regardless of what the consequences might not be accomplished by what we're doing. And if we, as a Chabura, the Yechidim, are able to accomplish that, then again, it's possible that the message will spread and eventually bring about Bias Mashiach Tzidkeinu B'meir V'yameinu Amen. Thank you for listening to now, those of you who have waited this far, and I appreciate your participation.